If you're hearing this on May 19th, it's not a coincidence. There's something in the air, a strange feeling, as if someone or something is quietly watching you, not to judge, but to see. If you're finally ready to face what you've been avoiding, lately you may have felt it, a restlessness with no name, a silence that lingers too long after a conversation, or the way someone's glance unsettled you more than it should have. It's not just in your head. It's a calling from a deeper part of you. Because right now, a silent yet powerful shift is unfolding in the sky as Mars forms a tense aspect with Pluto. And for Scorpio, this isn't just astrology. This is an awakening. You are being watched, not by the world out there, but by your own soul, the version of you that you forgot, but that never left. And the real question isn't who is watching you. It's what will you do when you realize it's you coming back to witness the truth. We're going deeper into that right now. There are 3 layers of observation unfolding right now, not to control you, but to help you see yourself more clearly than ever before. The first observer is you, but not the you sitting here listening. It's the version of you that already made it through. The one who has faced the fear, released the grief, and come out whole on the other side. That version is watching you now. Not with disappointment, not with urgency, but with a quiet, steady kind of love. They remember what it took to get here. They know the weight you're carrying, and they aren't asking you to rush. They're only asking you not to look away from what's real anymore because they know your truth is the only doorway forward. The second observer comes from the outside, people in your life. A former lover who still wonders what you became, a friend who no longer knows how to reach you, a stranger whose eyes linger on you without knowing why. These people may not consciously understand it, but they feel something in you is changing. Some will be pulled closer, drawn to the gravity of your shift. Others will pull away, sensing a reflection they're not ready to see in themselves. Either way, these interactions are mirrors showing you how your inner evolution is beginning to ripple outward. And the third observer doesn't walk this earth. These are the quiet protectors, the spirit guides, ancestors, and unseen energies that have traveled beside you since long before this moment. You may have felt them in dreams, in the stillness before you sleep, or in that strange feeling of comfort when you were on the verge of breaking. They never left. They've simply been waiting for the right moment to sense signs, synchronicities, and sacred disruptions that nudge you back onto your path. You might call it déjà vu. You might call it coincidence. But if you listen more closely, you'll realize it's a conversation your soul has been trying to have with you for a very long time. Each observer brings a different message, but they are all pointing to one thing. You are not who you were, and you're not meant to go back. Why are you being watched? Because you're standing at the edge of an 18-year cycle of rebirth, one that began in 2007 and will close by the end of 2025. And this moment right now is not just a checkpoint. It's a reckoning. The choices you make today won't just shape your future. They will seal off an entire karmic chapter, one that has carried grief, survival, silence, and power that has yet to be fully reclaimed. The universe is watching to see, will Scorpio finally shed the final layer of armor, not for someone else, not for appearance, but to finally live in truth? You've been strong for so long, but let's be honest, much of that strength was forged in defense. You've learned how to read the room before you speak, how to feel everything and show nothing, how to hold back what you truly want because you're not sure it will be held with care. This isn't weakness, it's survival. And it worked, but now it's keeping you from what you actually long for. The paradox? The very walls you built to protect yourself are the same ones blocking the love, softness, and connection you crave. You don't need to prove your worth by being untouchable anymore. In fact, the universe isn't impressed by how well you can hide your heart. It's waiting for the moment you stop hiding altogether. This is why you are being watched, because you're not being asked to be stronger, you're being asked to be more real. And that takes a different kind of courage. the kind Scorpio was born to master. You don't have to be flawless to be loved. The universe isn't waiting for you to get everything right, to have the perfect words, the perfect timing, the perfect story. It's waiting for you to get real. And getting real doesn't require strength in the way you've been taught to define it. It asks for something much more radical. Your truth, exactly as it is, no polish, no armor. The cracks in your voice, the trembling in your chest, the ache in your longing. Those are not weaknesses. Those are doorways. And for Scorpio, those doorways lead directly into the heart of your power. Because this sign, your sign, doesn't become stronger by being above it all. Scorpio becomes stronger by going deeper than most would dare, by sitting in the grief, by naming the desire, by admitting the fear. You were never here to play light. You were born to walk through shadows and emerge with the kind of wisdom that only comes from knowing yourself in every season, even the ones no one else sees. And on May 19th, you are being invited, gently but undeniably, to stop running from the parts of yourself that still wait in the dark. You know the ones. The parts that still flinch when love gets too close. The parts that want to speak but choose silence. The parts that remember what it felt like to be left behind and still carry the weight of it. This is the day to stop and ask, what am I still hiding from? What part of myself am I most afraid someone will see? And maybe more importantly, what if they did see it? What if the moment I dropped the act, I was finally met, not with judgment, but with love? Because that's what this energy is asking of you now. Not performance, not perfection, but permission. Permission to be whole, messy, and human, and still worthy of being held. You are not being watched as if under scrutiny. You are being witnessed. And that is a sacred act. Your soul isn't asking you to be more. It's asking you to be honest. And when you let the truth of your pain and your power exist in the same breath, something ancient inside you begins to stir. A quiet rising, a return, not to who you were, but to who you've always been underneath the defense. This isn't collapse. This isn't regression. This is the soul's way of shedding the last layer of pretense so it can finally live out loud. And maybe, just maybe, the moment you stop trying to prove your worth is the moment you actually remember it. Scorpio, you are not here to be hidden. You are here to be seen fully, deeply, truthfully. First by yourself, then by the world. On May 19th, the spiritual energy surrounding you calls not for grand gestures, but for quiet, symbolic acts of release. The kind that speak directly to your soul, not your image. This is not a day for external validation. This is a day for intimate reckoning. And one of the most powerful things you can do is to write a letter, not to someone else, but to yourself. To the version of you who existed back in 2007 when this cycle began. Sit with that version. Feel what they were carrying. The hopes, the fears, the illusions they still clung to because they didn't yet know what you know now. Tell them what you wish they had known sooner. Tell them what you forgive them for not being stronger, for staying too long, for pushing love away, for trying so hard to be okay. Let your present day compassion meet the younger version of you who didn't have the tools you have now. And as the words flow, you begin to understand healing isn't about forgetting. It's about finally speaking to the part of yourself that was left unheard. When you're done, take that energy into the shower, not as a routine, but as a ritual. As the water runs over you, close your eyes and breathe slowly. Imagine every defense you've built, every moment you smiled through pain, every time you said, I'm fine when you weren't, melting and sliding off your body like layers of dust. Let the water carry away the personas that no longer serve you. Let it cleanse the emotional residue that lingers in your chest, your shoulders, your jaw. And as you rinse, say to yourself, I no longer need to hide who I am in order to be safe. This isn't about physical hygiene. This is spiritual purification, a shedding of energetic weight. Then, when the time feels right, find something old, a letter, a photo, a keepsake, something small that holds meaning from the past, not to destroy in anger, but to release with reverence. Take it somewhere quiet, dig a small hole in the earth, in your backyard, by a tree, or even in a flower pot if that's all you have. Bury the item gently, speaking aloud or in your mind. This story has served its purpose. I release it now with gratitude and love. Cover it with soil. Take a deep breath and feel the moment the cycle begins to close. Not with noise, but with presence. These rituals are not magic in the conventional sense, but they are medicine. They are the language your soul understands, not through logic, but through symbolism. And today, that is what matters most. You don't need more answers. You need more space to let go. And May 19th is giving you exactly that. Scorpio, you are not being watched because you're in danger. You are being watched because you are on the edge of becoming yourself in the purest, most unguarded form you've ever known. The eyes upon you, whether spiritual, ancestral, or internal, are not measuring your worth. They are holding space for your return. They are bearing witness to something sacred, the soft emergence of your truth from behind years of armor. You are not here to keep hiding behind your wounds, no matter how deep they go. You are not meant to keep rewriting your life around what hurts you. There is a version of you now ready to stand, not because all the pain is gone, but because you no longer need to protect yourself from your own light. This version doesn't demand to be understood, doesn't chase after being right, doesn't cling to roles that once felt necessary. It simply exists, clear, raw, and whole, because that's what healing eventually becomes. The quiet confidence to live without permission. And yes, you may have once been left behind. Yes, you may have been unseen, unheard, unchosen. But today, something has shifted, because today you are the one choosing, not out of spite, not out of revenge, but from a deep, unshakable knowing that you are not here to stay small or safe or invisible. You are not rising with noise. You are rising in silence. The kind of silence that commands presence, the kind that speaks volumes without needing a single word. This isn't about proving your worth. It's about claiming it, gently but without apology. You've lived too long in the dark, not because you weren't ready, but because the world wasn't ready to meet the depth you carry. But now, something in the air, something in the stars, something in you is saying, it's time, not for someone else to open the door, but for you to reach for the handle, for you to let the light in, for you to walk out, not as someone different, but as someone no longer afraid of who you truly are. No one else can do it for you. No one else has to, because this is your door and this is your moment. So if you've made it here to the end of this message, no, this wasn't just a reading, and it wasn't just about the stars. This was a mirror, a portal, a quiet reckoning between who you've been and who you are now ready to become. Scorpio, this isn't about waiting for the universe to give you permission anymore. It already has. The signs have been sent. The guidance is clear. And the truth is, your soul has been preparing for this moment far longer than your mind can comprehend. You've spent lifetimes carrying weight that wasn't yours. You've played roles to survive rooms that never saw you. You've made yourself smaller to protect your most sacred parts. But today, the universe leans in and says, you don't have to do that anymore. You are allowed to be fully seen, not just for your brilliance, but for your brokenness too. You are allowed to speak before you're sure, to cry before you're strong, to open before you're ready. Because this isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It's about being here, raw, real, and awake. In the body, in the breath, in the becoming. The eyes that are watching you now are not here to judge you. They are here to honor you, to hold you in your evolution, to witness your return, not to a version of you that fits in, but to the version of you that remembers. The one who knew long before the pain what it meant to live with depth, devotion, and truth. So as this chapter turns, slowly, quietly, deliberately, ask yourself, what would it look like to stop hiding? Who would I be if I believed I was already enough? What kind of love would I let in if I trusted I didn't have to earn it? This is not the end, Scorpio. This is the edge. And from here, you don't fall, you rise. Maybe not all at once. Maybe not with fireworks, but with the steady, unstoppable rhythm of a soul that knows it's time. And it's time. We'll meet again, but you won't be the same. And that is something the stars are already celebrating.